All right, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through for a Slow Jams Monday edition. This will be a short video brought to you by the deli. Hungry? Stop by the deli and get yourself some of Mr. Euland's homemade hummus that he brought in this week. That's right, it's my week for the deli. Okay, look, this is all about how to use your graphing calculator. So, just follow through with this. Last year, they made Algebra 2 academic students learn how to do all this stuff by hand. It's a very old school approach. Doing things by hand does help you learn the inner workings of these graphs and these functions. But I, personally, have gone to bat for just teaching you how to use the technology that you're given. I think you can learn a tremendous amount about these by just really learning how to use your graphing calculator well. So, in Chapter 4, you're now going to realize why we expect you to have a graphing calculator in here. Today, you're essentially just going to be plugging these equations in and then learning by looking at your calculator screen. Now, a lot of you, I'm going to need to troubleshoot your calculator. The settings might be off, so your graphs might look weird. So I'm going to get to that. That's basically what I'm going to do during the bell. But we're just going to get started with a couple of these together, okay? So, let me erase this already. You'll see here, this is number 1 and number 2, simple graphs. Some things to think about during this lecture, or during this chapter. This is all going to be about quadratics. Quadratics involve y equals x squared. There can be a whole lot more to it, but when you see x squared, what does the graph look like? What does it look like when you see y equals x squared? Good. What is that, Katie? It's a parabola. Thank you, Jason. Very good. Okay? It's a parabola. Now, I know you're used to not exactly caring about math, and I'm down with that. I hope to change it, but I want you to know a fact about parabolas. Everything in the world that is launched travels in a parabolic shape. Okay? So, golf balls, footballs, missiles, bombs, hot air balloons, okay? Anything that takes off and lands, anything that is thrown and dropped, travels in some of a parabolic shape. So you can think, if you threw a baseball as high as you could straight up in the air, it would form a really thin parabola. That's what path it would take when you threw the baseball up, okay? When you launch a missile 500 miles, it travels like this. Okay? Well, what that is the top of a parabola. And why does everything in nature that is thrown follow that shape? Anyone know the answer to that question? Because of gravity. Because gravity is always the same. Okay? It's always having the same effect here on Earth. Gravity changes once you get away from Earth. So, I want you to know that this is actually applicable. Like, if you're into physics, if you're into sports, if you're into guns, like, you actually might find this useful someday. Okay? That's my pitch. All right. So, here's what we're going to do. You're going to go to your graphing calculator. Okay? You hit y. Y equals. Why isn't it working? Let's see. Where's that? I actually have to turn it on. That's amazing. Whoa, hysterical. Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't use this. I literally am using a calculator right now. Okay, so I'm going to clear it. Go to your y equals. Okay? You got to use this x here. So x squared. You've done this in here already. Hit graph. You see your parabola. If your parabola looks different, then your window settings are off, and I'll help you with that. No big deal at all. Okay? I'll get to that too. I'll help you with that syntax there. But here's where this is a new little thing that we learned. I want you to go to the table. So to do that, hit second table. You see that? Now scroll up a little bit. go second graph. If you scroll up a little bit, now you can see these points. So the point -3, 9 is on your graph. Put it on there. The point -2, 4 is on your graph. Put it on there. -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4, 3, 9. So I want you very quickly to put those points on. 0, 0, 1, 1, -1, 1, 2, 4, -2, 4, 3, 9, -3, 9. Now you can see the parabolic shape forming. Just really easily sketch that curve. Remember that it is curved. It is not a line anymore. Now, what's our vertex? The vertex is the apex point, or it's the lowest point. It's the highest or lowest point. It's also the point of symmetry. So what is that on this one? 0, 0. Okay? Got it? I'll be with you to help you with your calculator, but you're going to have to wait till I'm done. Okay, so now we're going to do number 2 together. Okay? So now I want you to type in y equals x squared plus 2. I go back to my y equals. I'm just going to clear it. X squared plus 2. And I'll start by graphing it. So what happened to the graph? It got shifted up. Now let's look at our table. -3, 11, -2, 6. Let me graph those first. -3, 11, -2, 6. -1, 3, 0, 2. -1, 3, 0, 2. The rest of them are symmetric. And so there we've seen that the +2 moved our vertex up to what? 0, 2. Okay? So far so good? Now, I know a lot of you are moving ahead, and I love that about you, but I'd like for us to get to number 8, please. Let's do number 8 together now. Okay? So now we go back to my calculator. It's x minus 2 squared. So y equals, parentheses, x. Now, does anyone remember what's going to happen? What happens when we have a -2 inside of the parentheses? I called this counterintuitive. Whatever you thought was going to happen, it's the opposite. What do you think? Not up to, but that's good. That's counterintuitive. It's actually right to, right to, right to, right to. Okay, so now let's graph it. Okay? That tells us that, what we said was correct. Now let's go to our table. Now look, what you want to do here is you might want to just start, you don't want to start at -2. That's too high. So the first point that you'll graph will be -1, 9, and then 0, 4. So -1, 9, 0, 4. Okay. 1, 1, 2, 0. So 1, 1, 2, 0. And now that we've gotten to the vertex point, you can see that the symmetry is going to start taking over. So I don't have to rely on my calculator as much. And there I've got a symmetric parabola. Yeah, I would like you to put the points on there. 5 of them. Always put 5 on it. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. No? No one knows about loonies? I got 5 on it. Old school rap. Okay, so that's the end of the video. That's enough to do this. Now I'm going to come around and help you with your settings and help you with any questions that I can help you with. Boom!